Have you ever found yourself wondering what actually happens when the world around you appears to shift, as if the very foundation of reality is changing beneath your feet? Perhaps you haven't noticed it consciously, but you've already experienced these shifts in subtle ways. The remarkable part of this experience is that most of the time, we aren't aware we're crossing these invisible boundaries, passing from one version of reality into another. Life keeps moving, days slip by. Yet beneath this familiar flow, something extraordinary and mysterious is unfolding. Your reality is transforming. Quietly and without fanfare, you are moving through different realities, each unique in subtle ways. What makes this transition even more fascinating is that it isn't caused by monumental events or sweeping external changes. Instead, it's brought about by something much closer and more intimate: your thoughts, emotions, and choices. Right now, countless versions of yourself are coexisting across parallel dimensions, each of them experiencing slightly, or even profoundly, different realities depending on your current mindset and focus. This invites a curious question. Why don't we notice these shifts? Why do so many go through life without realizing they're transitioning between different versions of reality? Perhaps it's because we cling to what feels known and secure, holding onto the safety of the familiar rather than embracing the endless possibilities that surround us. But what if you could open your awareness to these changes? How would your experience of life shift if you realized you hold the power to choose the reality you want to engage with? Every moment, there is a dynamic, ongoing interaction between you and the universe, where your thoughts, choices, and emotions continuously shape your reality. It's such a delicate, subtle process that, without focus, it can go entirely unnoticed. But what if you could be conscious of it? What if you could decide to live within a reality of your own choosing? Few dare to consider such questions, yet these insights hold the potential to completely transform how you perceive and engage with the world around you. Today, we're going to delve into what really happens when your reality changes and explore how these shifts are influencing your life, even if you haven't been aware of them. Together, we'll move beyond the familiar to reveal how your choices and internal states connect directly to these changes in reality. Once you grasp this concept, you'll unlock the ability to consciously choose the reality you wish to inhabit. Imagine yourself on a vast, multi-dimensional game board, with each space representing a different version of yourself living in a unique reality. All of these versions are scattered across the board, and the position you currently occupy is the sum of your emotions, thoughts, and choices up to this point. But unlike a traditional game board, in this one, your piece is always moving, even if you don't perceive it directly. Every decision, every feeling, and each thought subtly guides you to a new part of this board, leading you toward a new version of reality. Each of these realities already exists in the present moment, waiting for you to tune into it. They aren't waiting to be created. They're simply waiting for you to choose to align with them. You may not be consciously aware of this movement, yet it's occurring continuously. Just as in a game where pieces shift in response to the player's actions, you're constantly aligning with different versions of yourself, each vibrating at different frequencies. And the more conscious you become of this process, the more power you have to decide intentionally where you want to guide your piece or your reality next. These shifts are rarely dramatic. They are subtle, almost imperceptible. A small adjustment in how you think or feel can move your piece to an entirely new place on the board, stepping into a different reality than the one you experienced previously. You may have already noticed that sometimes small choices lead to big outcomes, like discovering new opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere or noticing a shift in how people respond to you. These are indicators that you've moved to a new space on the board, aligning with a reality that resonates with your new internal frequency. So, if all these potential realities are available to us, why do so many people remain stuck in situations they don't want? The answer often lies in our lack of awareness of this process. When we're stuck in familiar patterns of thought or behavior, we inadvertently keep our piece returning to the same part of the board over and over. We stay in a space that feels known and perhaps even comfortable, yet might also feel limiting. But the moment you recognize that you have the ability to move to new areas of the board, your world opens up to possibilities you may have never considered. The central question isn't whether you're moving between realities, because that's always happening. The question is, which direction are you moving in right now? These continuous shifts on the board of realities reveal that the process of transition is a natural part of our lives. Once we understand this, we begin to gain the ability to make conscious choices that guide our movement. After all, if your thoughts, choices, and emotions shape your direction, imagine what could happen if you became fully aware of this process. There are clear signs that you're entering a new reality, often appearing in small, seemingly ordinary details of daily life that initially seem like coincidences, but indicate something larger is happening. One of the earliest indicators is a change in your feelings and perceptions. You may start to notice a lightness, a fresh quality in ordinary moments that used to feel routine. It could be a sense that something is shifting, even if externally nothing has changed. These moments reflect an inner vibration that's beginning to resonate with a new version of reality. Your piece on the board is moving, and even before the physical world reflects this change, you can feel its presence. Another powerful sign of transitioning into a new reality is the appearance of synchronicities. Events begin aligning perfectly, almost as if the universe is responding to your intentions directly. Perhaps you encounter someone you needed to meet, or an opportunity presents itself at just the right time. These synchronicities serve as markers, signaling that you're on the path of moving between realities. These shifts are also reflected in your interactions with other people. You might notice a subtle shift in how people relate to you. Someone who was previously distant may start showing interest, or a challenging relationship might ease into a more harmonious connection. This isn't a coincidence. It's a direct reflection of your new vibration. As your energy aligns with a different reality, others respond to this new version of yourself. Then there are internal changes. You may start to feel different about yourself, perhaps a newfound confidence, or a sense that you're finally aligning with what you truly desire. Old insecurities may begin to dissolve, as if they no longer belong to who you are. This is a clear sign that your piece on the board has moved into a reality where these limitations no longer define you. Internal transformation often precedes external change. So as you notice these internal shifts, whether they be higher emotions, mental clarity, or a sense of peace, know that you're entering a new realm of reality. The external world will soon align to reflect this internal shift. This understanding brings us to an important question. What role does your consciousness play in this process? At its core, your consciousness is the primary force that shapes your reality. Your ability to focus, think, and feel not only influences, but literally creates the reality you experience. This is where the power of conscious choice lies. You are not merely reacting to events around you. You are actively creating the world in which you live. Think again of the multi-dimensional board. Each thought, emotion, and decision acts as a move, guiding your piece into different spaces, aligning you with new possibilities. So the question then becomes, how are you playing? Most people, without realizing it, act on autopilot, allowing habitual patterns or reactive responses to dictate their movements. They traverse the board unconsciously, replaying cycles that keep them in parts of the board they no longer want. However, once you become aware of this process, you begin to take control. Recognizing that your consciousness determines the reality you live in means you can direct it with intention. By focusing on what you truly want, by choosing your emotions and intentions mindfully, something remarkable happens. You start to actively create the reality you want to experience. It's not about controlling outside circumstances, but rather about transforming how you perceive and interact with them. This doesn't mean change happens instantaneously or without effort, but rather that as you become aware of your frequency, you gradually align with the reality that resonates most with your true desires. The question is not whether you are creating your reality. That's already happening. The real question is, how aware are you of what you are creating and experiencing? One key aspect of this process is the power of conscious focus. When you direct your focus toward what you desire, instead of getting stuck on what you fear or want to avoid, you change the direction of your movement on the board. Focus acts as the lever that directs the path, and wherever you place your attention is where your energy flows, determining the next area of reality you will align with. Emotional state, too, is a powerful sign of which reality is on the horizon. Emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety often keep your peace in parts of the board that reflect those states, placing you in realities that mirror those vibrations. By cultivating emotions like gratitude, joy, and peace, you're naturally drawn to realities that resonate with these higher frequencies. So, your consciousness is not only an observer of reality, it is the fundamental mechanism that shapes it. And the power of choice has always been within your reach, even if, out of habit, you've kept your peace in familiar parts of the board. By becoming conscious, you can start moving with purpose toward new possibilities. Once you understand this, you'll see that the ability to shape your reality is, and always has been, within you. All you need is the awareness to begin navigating the board intentionally toward a reality that reflects your true desires.